Chinese President Xi Jinping spoke with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on the phone this morning. This is the first time the two leaders have talked since Russia invaded Ukraine. Zelensky said in a statement about the call, it was a long and meaningful conversation. Last month, Xi Jinping visited Russian President Vladimir Putin for talks where the two leaders posed as peace brokers for Russia's own invasion of Ukraine. No one better to help us understand the significance of this than our chief international anchor, Christiane Amanpour, who has been on the ground in Ukraine and has covered this extensively. How big is it?
Look, it's big. I mean, you know, these guys have been saying that they would talk ever since Xi went to his good buddy for life, Vladimir Putin, in Moscow. However,
best friends, they've said.
Best friends, you know, a no-holds-barred alliance, a troubling alliance because it seems to be a growing alliance against the United States and the West, Russia, China, Iran, etc. The thing is, what did President Xi say to President Zelensky? The two are bigging it up, obviously, because China's a massive partner, especially in the past, a massive economic partner for Ukraine. But China's view of being a peace broker up until now has meant parroting Vladimir Putin's position. So right now, unless something changed on that phone call, there is no real way for China to show that it is an honest broker and not just carrying water for President Putin. But this is a problem because some other democratic leaders, such as President Lula, you know, left-wing, you know, China obviously is in its own autocratic camp. This is a president who also doesn't believe in the U.S. support of Ukraine and believes that there should be some kind of peace to be broken. Obviously, everybody would like that. But the conditions, according to Ukraine, are not yet right for that.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear Zelensky's take of the call, saying it was long, it was meaningful, and that call, in addition to Ukraine's ambassador to China being appointed, he believes will give a powerful impetus to the development of bilateral.
You know, this is all diplomatese, right? The two leaders have had a call. There's a readout, as often happens. It's an important thing that the two leaders have spoken. China's a massive, massive player, as we all know. The question is, what is the quality of that conversation, and what is China prepared to do to pressure his, you know, Xi's best friend, Putin, to actually come to the table and stop what is generally deemed by the United Nations as an illegal reinvasion of Ukraine. So that is really the key. And the real key is whether the United States and its allies will remain really vested in this process of defense that they have put so much into until there is a position where Ukraine is militarily capable of putting pain to Russia and therefore creating the conditions for a negotiation. Right now, Russia doesn't have to negotiate. It's doing badly, but
no one's winning.
Right.
And
And that's the problem.
Speaking of Russia, Alexei Navalny and the updates that we have on him. What should we know?
So, look, Vladimir Putin considers Alexei Navalny, as well as Ukraine, an existential threat. These people want to bring democracy and an end to the autocratic regime of Putin. And they try to speak the truth, both Ukraine in the way it acts as an independent and democratic state, and Navalny as the key opposition. So what's happening is that Putin and the regime there is just over and over again, adding more charges, more threats, more court appearances. So now he's facing two trials and cases, one of extremism, one of terrorism. What the difference is, I'm not entirely sure. He says he's been given, or at least his family say, that he's been given 10 days to go through a massive dossier. They've spoken to Jim Sciutto and on CNN. And this is what Putin does. He tries to make irrelevant his opposition, and that's what's happening.
Yeah, and to see that picture we just had up, it just shows how much thinner Alexei Navalny is now.
Yes.
I mean, they were saying he's lost, I think, 17 pounds in 2 weeks, which is just, I mean, it's awful to see the condition he's being treated in.